Welcome to my channel. So here we have a solid spherical object which has a radius of 30 centimeters and a mass of 200 kilograms. So it's quite heavy for only 30 centimeters. And now we are asked to calculate its weight when submerged in water. And why do objects weigh differently when submerged in water? It's actually because of the buoyant force as during our lecture. Um, so let's identify the forces involved here. Uh, okay, so an upward force, of course, first let's add the downward force. The downward force actually would be the weight of the object. So I'll just put it here. Downward force is just the weight of the object. Now, of course, in this illustration, we have the spherical object, and this is the weighing scale. Suppose that we can put a weighing scale uh, underwater. So let's analyze what force will this weighing scale measure. Okay, so anyway, um, upward force is we have the buoyant force countering the weight of the object, which is just equal to the mass of the displaced fluid. So this is now the buoyant force. But there's another force here. And since the buoyant force is not necessarily equal to the weight of the object, in order for this object to be static in underwater, there must be a force, another force, which actually um, upwards, okay, and that would be now the normal for, because this is a surface, so that would be the normal force in this surface, and that normal force is just okay, let's just call this n, and that n actually is just what this weighing scale is going to measure. It's like actually if you're standing on a weighing scale in air, your weight is downwards, but the weighing scale is actually exerting the same force, and that would be the normal force. What the weighing scale will measure will be the normal force. Okay, so the same thing, the same as true as underwater. Okay, so this equation, let's now write this equation in terms of Newton's laws. So here we are now in static equilibrium, so the summation of forces, and this is just along y, we don't have any forces along x. That would be up the buoyant force plus the normal force minus the weight of the object equals 0. So that this normal force, which is again the weight that's gonna be measured by this weighing scale, is just now equal to the weight of the object minus the buoyant force. Okay, so now basing on our information, let's calculate the weight of the object and the buoyant force. Well well the weight of the object is just equal to m times g. That would be 200 times 9.8. Okay, I'll just write it in variable first. MOG minus the buoyant force, which is, what's the buoyant force now? This is just actually equal to the density of the fluid. In this case, we have the water. Okay, by the way, the density of water, in this case, our fluid, that would be 1,000 kilogram per cubic meter, or just 1.0 grams per cm cube. We can use either of the two depending on our units. So again, the buoyant force is the mass of the fluid displaced. What is the mass of the fluid displaced? When you put this ball, the displaced fluid is actually equal to the volume of the ball. That's the volume of the displaced fluid. Now we know that the mass is equal to, the density, they call that the density is equal to, the density rho is equal to the mass over volume. So that mass is just density times volume. So this means that the buoyant force, which is defined as the weight of the fluid displaced. Okay, what's the weight of the fluid displaced? That will be the mass of that displaced fluid, the amount, if you can weigh the amount of this water, this big, of this size of water. Okay, that would be the mass, and that would be the density times this volume. What is that volume? That's now the submerged volume, which is, in this case, since our object is fully submerged, so this volume is just the volume of the object. times G. Okay, so we now get our N, which is equal to, just factor out G. So this is just MO minus density of the fluid times volume of the object times G, which is then just equal to, the mass. We can now put values on this, because we already have these numbers. Oh, by the way, we don't have yet VO. VO here, let's calculate VO. VO would be the volume of a sphere. This is a spherical object. That would be 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so we can just plug in this to the calculator directly. That would be the mass of the object, which is 200 minus, okay, um, the density of the fluid, which is, in this case, since we are using kilograms, and okay, let's convert the cm into meter. That would now be this one. That would now 0.3. So we'll use now this unit. Okay, so 1000 times, okay, uh, that's the density of the fluid, which is the water, and the volume of the object, just 4/3. So 4 times, okay, 4/3, so 4/3 times pi times r. In this case, we have to use now the meter, so 0.3 cube. Okay, so that would now be this whole parenthesis here. Okay, so I'll write it clearly. That would be 200 kilograms minus the density of the fluid, which is 1000 kilogram per cubic meter, times, that would be 4/3 times pi times 0.3 cube, okay, times 9.8. So our unit now will be in newtons, because this will be kilogram and this is meters per second squared. Okay, so this would be, this whole thing is 86.90 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared. That would give us now times 9.8, and that would be, n now is just equal to 851.65 newtons. Okay, that would be the weighing scale will read this. But of course, since we are, whenever we talk about weight, we actually refer to the mass in our common, in our common life, like in your bio data. When you're asked to put the weight, you're actually putting the mass. So let's convert this to mass. You just divide this by 9.8. That would give you this. Notice that the mass here, the mass as measured by this, let's call this mn, would just be 86.9 kilograms. And instead of being 200 kilograms, we are now measuring an 86.9 kilograms, 86.9 kilogram object. That's because of the buoyant force. So, okay. So anyway, the final answer, because since this is the weight, since we are not asked for the mass and we are asked for the weight, that would be it. But if we want to know how massive it is, then that would be 86.9. And okay, clearly it's much less than 200 kilograms. If you cannot carry this in still air, then when it is submerged in water, I think it's now doable to carry an 86.9 kilogram mass. Okay, so that's it. Okay, and by the way, why are we sure, before we end, why are we sure that this will sink, that will submerge in water? Well, remember that the condition that something will float in water is that the density of the fluid should be greater than or equal to the density of the object. Here, what's the density of the object? That would be the mass of the object times the volume. So that would be the thought. This is in air. We are measuring this in air, where the density of air is very negligible compared to the object. So that would be mass of the object, which is 200, divided by the volume, which is 4 times pi times 0.3 cube, and divided by 3. That would give us one. Notice that it's 1768.4 kilogram per cubic meter. Clearly, this is not this is violated, so meaning that the object will sink. Okay. We can also suppose that the object will sink, and there's no weighing scale here. Let's explore the problem much further. Suppose that there is no n here. Okay, let's remove this one. So can how do we know what is the okay, we uh, how can we calculate the acceleration of the object as it descends into the water? Okay, because if there's no water, the object will accelerate exactly at g, at 9.8 meters per second squared. But since it is now submerged in water, it will accelerate slower. Well, that's just easy to calculate. That's just, of course, ma would be equal to the difference of the buoyant force minus the weight of the object. So A now would be equal to FB minus the weight of the object over M. And we can now calculate that. I'll just plug in it directly in the calculator. Okay. Uh, that would just be, well, notice that this whole thing here is just this 86 point. Uh, Notice that this is equal to MA in our equation, right? This is equal to MA. So that our A now would just be equal to this divided by mass. Okay? So that would be 851, 851 point, what's that? 851.65 divided by the mass of the object, which is 200. And it would accelerate as just 4.26. Okay? 4.26 meters per second squared. It's actually less than half of 9.8. Okay, so it will accelerate slower. Again, why did I divide it by the mass? Because notice that this equation is just this equation, exactly this equation, these two. Okay, so this is, instead of n, this is now equal to ma, because we don't have a force there, n. And okay, so it will just accelerate slower. It will move downward but at a lower rate than just being released on still air. Okay, so I hope that you learned something in this problem, and thank you for visiting my channel, and please subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. We have more videos to come.